Well, hello there, Tenno, and welcome back to another little episode of the Warframes. And today we're getting straight on into it. Oraxia, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. The newest Warframe, the 61st Warframe, has been released on the 25th of June, and we can now go and grind her out. I'm going to quickly tell you where to go to get her, how to reach that, but more importantly, we're going to talk about how to mod her once you've built her. And spoiler alert, she's freaking amazing. Anyway, drop me a like, comment and or sub, and let's get into it. So, my darlings, if you go to DOOZY and the Isleweaver node is not there, it means you haven't completed all the quests you need to complete. You need to have worked your way all the way through to the Hex quest. If you go to the Warframe website, log in as you and sync it to your account, it will tell you which quests you have left to do. So if you've ever done the DOOZY experience, this new Isleweaver mode here on the left is very similar. You've got 6 levels to complete within the mission. You can go solo, you can go in squads. For my first endeavour, I wanted to go solo so I could sort of savour it all and take it all in. And just a note that even though they're saying we can take Warframes into the DOOZY world now, not just in the Undercroft, you still don't get to choose from your own arsenal. You still have to choose from the limited arsenal that you get offered in every spiral on DOOZY. That's the catch. And for those of you who know I don't like DOOZY that much, I was kind of like, oh, I'm deflated now. Anyway, the other changes here in the DOOZY little waiting room is that Teshin is no longer here on this Isleweaver node. It's actually Dominus Thrax. And even though he hates us, he's now asking us to work with him to get rid of Major Rizolka. So I will do a totally separate episode on the DOOZY Isleweaver node, but this is where you're going to come and get the Oraxia blueprints as well as her weapon blueprints if that's the way you want to go. However, if you don't, there are other options. You can buy her for cold hard cash or for plat. If you wanted to buy one item out of this whole entire bundle and then come back and buy the bundle later, they will reduce it by the amount that you've already bought, which is a newish thing, which I think is a really good idea. And just be aware, if you are grinding out her blueprints and you need to build her, these are the things that you need. The components, Intrati Obals, you get those from the Sanctum Anatomica missions, Kovnik and Agrastone and Tasoma Extract and Temporal Dust. Excuse the fact it's in red. Wiki hadn't updated properly by the time I screenshot this. They can all be got from these DOOZY missions, and I think more specifically this new node, some of the stuff, the Temporal Dust, people haven't seen before, so it's very specific to this new node. But you know, we'll go and play other DOOZY and see if it appears there as well. Now, before we fashion frame her, let's take a quick look at her abilities, and these are kind of impressive. So her passive is a wall latch grants predators lurk, rendering Oraxia invisible for 8 seconds. Now, that might not sound great, but it can actually be refreshed at any time. You don't have to wait for an 8-second timer before you do it, or a timer in between. You can literally just keep triggering invisibility by sticking onto the wall like a proper little spider. And her first ability, Mercy's Kiss. Leap onto an enemy and pierce them with Oraxia's spider legs, dealing toxin damage. Enemies defeated by this attack have a chance to drop health or energy orbs. That's important for laters. And her second ability, Web's Embrace. This is a bit of a crowd control ability. Oraxia throws a creeping web. This expands as you drop it to ensnare her prey. Enemies caught within the widening radius are trapped inside a cocoon that increases their damage vulnerability. And her third ability, Widow's Brood. This is basically summoned minions. Oraxia launches a barrage of stinging darts in front of her that applies toxin status effect. Poisoned enemies spawn scuttlers when killed. So these are like little baby arachnids that will go around and beat the ever-living shizzle out of your enemies for you. And at this point, I could have a maximum of 10, but I think I got it higher than that at one point. And just a little note, these actually become more powerful in the higher level missions against higher level enemies, so they scale up for you. And her final ability, Silken Stride. This is where you become one as a spider. Unfurl Oraxia's spider legs and go on the prowl. Oraxia is immune to status effects and has increased maximum health. Ranged weapons are imbued with toxin damage. Killing enemies causes them to burst with toxin. Also, Silken Thread, you tap dodge to leap to a targeted surface, and you're basically Spider-Man. You're basically Spider-Man, let's just say it, or Spider-Pig, depending on what universe you come from. It's so hard not to sing that song. I have to say, and I've get a lot of feedback for her already, it's so much fun. I'm going to show you it in some kind of action. I just wanted to show you modding, archons and weapons that I've been using, and I'm just going to show you the simulacrum testing I did. I won't bore you with ranking up, but I haven't even finished her yet, and she's freaking amazing. Oh, and I almost forgot before we get into the mods and the arcanes, etc., and the Archon Shards. Look at the skin. This is her original skin. Fashion frame. If you want to show off your Oraxia fashion frame, please come and join my Discord. The link is on my YouTube channel homepage. You're more than welcome to come and join. There's a fashion frame channel, among others, spoiler channels, all sorts. And here you go. I bought that secondary helmet. I couldn't help myself. There's something wrong with me, don't ask. And I did also buy a new ephemera. I'm gonna do a teeny tiny little video on that separately. It's very glittery and I love that. And it added something. It added a little something something. But there is also a spider's web ephemera that probably would go very nicely on Oraxia. So we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, isn't she beautiful? Isn't she sparkly and gorgeous? I love her. Really nice skin. So here's my mod configuration as I was recording. This is in no way complete, so don't come for me in the comments. I will switch a few things out eventually, but the main thing is I wanted some Archon stretch going on and Archon continuity, because Archon continuity basically says that any ability that inflicts toxin status will also apply corrosive status, and if you don't know, corrosive armor strips. And we have electrical damage over here, so toxin and electric mixed together, guess what? Makes corrosive. So we are an armor stripper here. That is really, really good for Steel Path, if you didn't know. And her aura former came with this polarity in, so hint hint, put Summoner's Wrath in there because the squad receives 75% companion and summon damage. Summoned minions do include your arachnids on your third ability. The other thing we want to think about is being energy efficient. So we can either be efficient, or we can have equilibrium in here instead, or we can put Archon Shards in that help our energy orbs be more efficient. However, her first ability, basically, if the enemy has this mark above their head, you press 1, pounce on them, you have a chance then of dropping more energy orbs. So some way or another, we need to be energy orb efficient so we can keep that fourth ability running. And arcane wise, I went with Arcane Camisado. Attacks from summon minions increase ability strength by 6% up to 60% on the next ability cast, and summons gain 20% movement speed. Right? It's almost like it was made for her. I also went with Arcane Crepuscular, while Invisible gain plus 30% ability strength and plus 3 times final critical damage. And her wall latch, remember, makes us invisible. And if you pop her fourth ability, you can wall latch indefinitely and also ping yourself to another wall immediately and re-trigger your passive. And another arcane, almost like it was named after this Warframe, Arcane Arachne. On wall latch, plus 25% damage to primary and secondary weapons for 30 seconds. Now this is an unranked arcane. I don't have enough of them to make this useful at the moment, but I will once I've got more of these arcanes, and I'm going to do an arcane video shortly. I will trial it and see if it does the girl good, because damage to primary and secondary weapons for 30 seconds or more, that's gonna be fine. That's gonna be so good. And here's my Phantasma Prime build that I also use. This has a corrosive build. Don't worry about the river mod. It's not compulsory. I don't know if I've done a Phantasma Prime video. I might have to. I use this a lot with my Jaya build, and it procs corrosive quite nicely for the green Archon Shard. Oh, my beloved Exaltra Prime. Honestly, I can't get enough of this weapon. I have a corrosive build, but I use the electric build. The corrosive I would tend to only use if I had a lot of green Archon Shards in my Warframe and I wanted to proc that corrosive stack going on, but the electricity mixed with the toxin from Oraxia's abilities was just chef's kiss anyway. And the other two weapons I took along was just my Kuva Nucore and my Falcor, actually, and I've done a Falcor Thomo video if you want to go and check that out. And here are my Archons for now. I just sort of put in what I had because I like to put Tower Forged in. So I put an Emerald one in with the bottom option, the increase max stacks of corrosive by 3. That's Tower Forged version. I want a couple more of those if I can. For now, I put effectiveness on energy orbs in as well. I also put an increased armor one in because I wasn't really sure how tanky she is. I also put a ability strength one in, but I probably don't need that, so I'll probably take that out for a green one. And then I put a purple, a violet shard in. And that is basically increasing our electric damage by 45% on our primary. So very worth it. And it's stacking stuff up, you know, and it's mixing with other mods, and it's impacted by whether you have an Azure, Crimson and another violet shard in. It'll keep increasing. It's really, really good. The whole electric and toxin thing, equaling corrosive, proccing corrosive with your primaries as well. Oh my goodness, honestly. It is melty time on Steel Path if you can survive. And of course, we can re-trigger her invisibility anytime we want. So I'm thinking we might survive. And I just wanted to show you that I took my Pharaoh Predacite as a companion because we can get a lot of toxin onto this bad boy as well. I mean, let's just go crazy with the toxin, shall we? I think it's that contagious bond mod that I've got in there, potentially. Or the anabolic whatever on the bottom right there. But yeah, I've got the Pharaoh Predacite and I decided to start ranking it up as well at the same time because why not? Why not? I gave myself an affinity blessing and just went to town on it. So I've come to a slightly different Simulacrum first off because it has towers in it, but it only goes up to 195 Steel Path enemies. So I just wanted to show you this wall latch thing. So the order of operations really for me at this point is popping her 4th ability and then popping her spider web, which is her 2nd ability. And then once the enemies are in that spider web, popping her 3rd ability. And then once the pink marker, or that you see there, but it could be any color, whatever your energy is, appears, then you smack your 1. And that's when it leaps on them and it'll kill them outright and potentially drop lots of energy and health orbs, and that will keep your 4th ability happily running. As you can see, I'm not shooting these enemies at all on this little go through. I've popped my abilities and we're done. Like, I'll just show you again. My little minions, my little Nama is coming in, my little Pharaoh Predacite, and also my minions, and also me. Once I do that, I think there's an explosion radius as well of toxin damage, potentially. I can't remember what I said there in the abilities. All I know is that I'm having a blast here. So just to wrap this video up, I don't want to bore you with it, but I've come to the Sanctum Anatomica Simulacrum because I can get the enemies up to 220 Steel Path here. And as you can see, order of operations, I've popped her 4th ability. I popped down a spider web, number 2, and then once the enemies were kind of in that spider web being poisoned by it all, I then popped the 3, and then hopefully when the enemies die, you're going to get your little minions scuttling around, your scuttlers. Who thought they'd be so endearing and cute? And then once the little marker appears above their head, mash a 1 whilst aiming at that enemy, and hopefully you'll get a ton of energy and health orbs back. And that'll keep your 4th ability going. And then just wall latch if you want to go invisible and avoid the enemies. Just keep wall latching, and once your 4th ability's running, you can stay wall latched. You won't stay invisible, but you can re-trigger anytime. If you press dodge, it literally sucks you onto another wall with your spider web, and it re-triggers your passive like that. What can I tell you? Look at the damage that she's doing. And I'm not really going to town on the weaponage here. I've got my Phantasma Prime, my Exceltra Prime. I've trialed both of those. My Kuvanuka was doing really well, and I wung and wang the Falcor at them now and again. But I haven't actually taken her out in high level missions yet, so I think I'm going to trial her because I don't know about her survivability. That's all I'm saying. Like, she's got good health, she's got some shields, and you can put armor on her, but I just don't know. She is status immune when her 4th ability is running. Like, no status effects will bother her, but you just know something's going to get through it. Maybe at some point, I don't know. Either way, I need to take this girl out on some missions and have some funsies. So you're going to see a bit more Oraxia in my videos. I have got a ton of content coming up because of this update. There were so many teeny tiny little releases that people probably weren't focusing on that I'm going to focus in on. I can't help myself. There's loads of stuff. So I, in the meantime, just wanted to give you a heads up on maybe how to think about modding Oraxia and also get the conversation going, because, you know, if you can give us a better build or something that's a bit more efficient or different for different types of missions, let us know. But generally, this is awesome. I was having a blast, as you can see, literally. Those corrosive purple numbers and the impact as well. The impact's important, by the way. I'm not going to go into it because I'm not that bothered about the Mercy's Kiss thing, but you can trigger it, I think, at a lower or higher level if you put impact status onto the enemies. You can, I think, lower the threshold for you to get your energy and health orbs back, but we'll have a fiddle with that, my darlings. I didn't look too closely into that in the passives, but it is back there if you want to go back and have a look. So there you go, the 61st Warframe Oraxia is out, and she has well and truly got me suckered right on into her web. I'm stuck in here. I'm not mad about it. I don't want to get out. Not just yet. Look how cool she is, hanging upside down like Spider-Man. I love it. Their animations is chef's kiss. Thank you, DE, for giving us Spider Lady. Spider Warframe, finally. Anyway, my darlings, let me know where you're at with it. I hope you're grinding her out, and I hope this helps you in some way, and I will bring you more content as I can get my grubby grommets on it. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining me. I really do hope to see you again in the next one, no matter what it may be. But in the meantime, you take care now, and goodbye. Hanging upside down.